Hey there, game fanatics. Jake Valentine here, and today we're going to look at TERA, which will launch next week for the PC. We did get a chance to try out several classes during the beta weekend. I know that Liam absolutely loved this Hunt the Mystic, and here we are looking at the Warrior class. Now, the game opens up with a prologue mission that serves two purposes. First, it sort of guides you into the basics of the genre for some simple quests, and then it gets you familiar with the combat. Secondly, it gives you a chance to test drive each of your classes. I mean, you'll start the prologue at level 20, so you'll have all the class' core abilities and core skills. For example, when dealing with the Berserker, I realized that he did a lot of damage, but he attacked too slow for my tastes. And it was also pretty nice to see that the Priest, which is of course a healing class primarily, was able to hold its own damage while questing. Combat in TERA isn't going to be like anything you've seen in most MMOs before, because it's 100% real time, similar to what you see in a hack and slash or an action RPG. Now, because of this, the game's combat offers a little bit more of a challenge than simply, right-clicking on enemies and using your cooldown abilities. Positioning, auto-attacking, using proper abilities, blocking, maneuvering, dodging, all these things will come into consideration even in the game's early levels. Now, after the prologue, you'll be sent back to level 1 and into the gorgeous overworld of TERA, where the real game can begin. Even at the game's early levels, combat is more than enjoyable. Since everything is in real time, there's still plenty of action during combat to keep your focus. Now, the quests themselves aren't anything revolutionary. It's still kill X amount of monsters and loot X amount of items from said monsters. However, there's a neat mechanic as to how they work. The game will automatically loot any items you need from monsters and store it in a separate inventory. That way you don't have to keep right-clicking and looting monsters, and it's not going to count against your inventory total. This mechanic sort of allows you to keep a smooth flow going as you grind, which actually, it turns out, doesn't feel like a grind, again, thanks to the game's combat system. TERA will often go out of its way to showcase its action and set pieces. Take this quest right here, a time scenario in an instance where I'm protecting NPCs from being overrun by enemies. I really felt like I was playing more of a console RPG instead of an MMO, and the 7-minute timer flew right by, delivering an experience unlike any other MMO out there. I mean, sure, we have escort quests and set pieces quests, but it really feels scripted and feels a little bit awkward and clunky. Speaking of escort quests, they're not really a chore. There's a couple reasons for this. First, the NPCs themselves are able to take a fair amount of hits and do a good job of keeping the pace up with you. You won't have to wait around for them as they walk 50 feet, stop, wait for a scripted combat sequence, and then start over. I mean, if they aggro mobs, they'll enter combat. Now, this particular escort quest happens in an instance, meaning if I die, my progress is saved, I don't need to start over, something I'm quite thankful for. I also want to talk about the gathering. When you pick up herbs and mine nodes, you'll gain various buffs that increase stamina, regen, combat, so on and so forth. This encourages gathering in a way that I've quite frankly never really seen before, and I found myself happily grinding nodes in between grinding combat. TERA launches May 1st. Be sure to stay tuned to the Game Fanatics while we continue our coverage all May with impressions, videos, screenshots, and of course, a full review. Thanks for watching, and game on.